In this video, I'm going to show you how to bleed the brakes on this Chevy Equinox. Let's get started. With the hood open, you'll find your brake master cylinder tucked right by the firewall next to this battery junction box in between the engine cover and that right here. I'm going to take a rag and just wipe off any dust that might be on here. Mine looks like it's actually fairly clean, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to remove the cap. It'll say .3 on it. That's the type of brake fluid you need, so you have to make sure you have .3 brake fluid on hand. And I like to extract the brake fluid that's in here so I can start with fresh brake fluid being pulled through the lines into the calipers. Having said that, you can use a turkey baster, a fluid extractor pump, anything you have that will remove old fluid. I'm going to use a vacuum pump with a hose that I can stick down in there and just pull all the fluid out. All right, that's pretty much all the fluid that I'm going to be able to extract, so I'll call that done. Now I'm going to take a new bottle of brake fluid and very carefully fill up the reservoir all the way to the max line. It's hard to see, but the full line, the indicator is on the side right here, so pretty much where the top starts curving flat, that's where you want to fill it to. It's important to be careful and not spill as you do this because brake fluid does damage things such as the paint and other components. If you did happen to spill, clean it up right away. I'm going to put the cap back on. That way no debris or moisture gets in the system. Brake fluid is hydroscopic, so it will absorb the moisture in the air. The bleed sequence on this vehicle is starting at the right rear. That's the passenger side rear wheel. Then you move to the left rear. Then don't forget to top off the master cylinder, go to the right front and bleed that. Then you move over to the left front, at which point you should have no more air in the system. If you feel that you need to repeat the procedure because the pedal doesn't feel right, repeat the same sequence and keep that master cylinder topped off until you get a nice firm brake pedal and you're happy with the results. So I'm at the right rear caliper. I'm going to pop the cap off of this bleeder screw. And then I have a collection receptacle with a hose on it. That way it avoids making a huge mess. I have a 10mm wrench on the bleeder screw and an assistant in the vehicle ready to pump up the brake pedal and hold pressure on it. Go ahead and pump. All right, they're holding, so I have my wrench on. I'm going to put this hose over and crack the bleeder screw open. All right, go ahead and pump again. We're just going to repeat this procedure until we have clear fluid and no air coming out. Go again. Okay, I like that. You can let go of the brake pedal now. I'm going to remove my collection receptacle with the hose. Remove the wrench, and if you had any spillage, you would take some brake parts cleaner and just rinse it off. Once the area has dried off, reinstall the bleeder screw cap so it doesn't clog up, and at this point you would move over to the other side, rear caliper, that's the left rear, do the same procedure until you get clear fluid and no air bubbles. Now that the rear end is bled, let's top off the master cylinder, make sure it's full, and put the cap back on so we can continue bleeding the front. We have our master cylinder topped off and we're over at the right front caliper. This is going to be our third caliper that we're bleeding. Same procedure, pop the cap off if you have one, get your wrench ready and have the assistant pump up the brakes. Go ahead. I'm going to put my hose on. They're holding pressure, so I'll crack this free. There we go. Go again. All right, go again. Perfect. You can let go of the brake pedal. I like this. We got cleaner fluid, no air bubbles, so we are good to go here. Gonna clean off any mess, cap this back off, and let's move over to the last caliper, that being the driver's side or left side front. With the full brake bleed done, top off that master cylinder once again. Make sure the brake pedal feels firm, and like I said, if you don't like it, bleed again in the same sequence until it is nice and firm. Put the wheels back on when you're done. The torque for these is 140 foot-pounds, and job is done.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. the only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.